So, Sheffield Wednesday has apparently inquired about Ronnie Edwards. Now, this is someone who Danny wants in a lot. But, I'll go into the but in a minute, but we'll start with this first. So, Sheffield Wednesday are looking to try and sign Southampton defender Ronnie Edwards into January as Danny seeks to try and bolster his back line. Edwards, who joined the Saints in the summer from Peterborough for a multi-million-pound deal. They're looking to loan him out with some game time, which is something we know that so far we've done pretty well at giving Shea Charles game time. That's where we got a really good link up with Southampton in the sense that they know we'll look after him. So hopefully that'll help us there. Now, there's going to be other people who are going to be looking at him as well. It won't just be us. So we're going to have to make that aware that we are going to be lots of competition for this young lad's signature out on loan. But he will fit the bill really, really nicely. And they do want to get things going, and hopefully we can get this done. But this is where it gets really confusing, right? Because at the end of the game versus Preston, that Danny had said apparently that him and Chancery hadn't had a conversation about transfers. Apparently there's been a communication breakdown about what transfer can come in and what can't in terms of what's going to be done and what's not going to be done. And this is the bit where I get really, really confused then. If something quickly been changed very quickly because, say, Danny, it got back to DC that Danny spoke to media about there not being any communication. Centre-backs is something we need. Ronnie Edwards on loan would be fantastic. It's exactly what we would need right now. But this is where it gets confusing because Danny did a series of interviews after the game as he normally does. And this is the thing, he said next time we'll speak will be in January. You've spoken a couple of times about not being clear on what it is or possible. Are you in a position? No. He said, what clarity would you like? He said, I think you know better than me the history. I think we'll see what we need. I see it every day. I know which group of players we have. We have a strong mentality and great attitude, but today, especially to win games, we have to better a defence in front and we need to use money, basically, and a special one. We all know the different process that went in case by case on transfer business. Have you had any conversations? He said at the moment there have been no conversations. They go, no conversations at all. He said no conversations. Would that not sound particularly healthy going into the January transfer window? He said, let's see. So again, that could be a situation where they've actually finally had that conversation. He said, are there any plans to have any talks about the transfer window? He said he doesn't know. Would that indicate that there isn't anything available in terms of cash? I have no answer, man. I will try my best. I work 24/7 for the club. It's not on my table. So this is where it gets confusing. We've had two very conflicting articles in the space of a morning, where one's saying we've inquired about Ronnie Edwards and stuff, and then you've got one saying that there hasn't been a conversation with Chancery and Danny about what's going on. So this is where it gets really confusing because I think both stories are true, by the way. I think both stories had. And it makes you wonder, had there been a sit-down talk last night or some point after the game where Danny and Chancery have sat down and finally had that talk about the transfer market? It could be. But until we get the clear signs, it's going to be really interesting. Because it said to me that maybe Chancery took his eye off the ball because it's Christmas, or maybe that's why the account came early, like Kieran Maguire said. Maybe it's a nod to say, hey, there's not much money to spend here. So it's really conflicting that these two articles have come out saying two different things. One saying that was inquired, and anyone can inquire about a player. You can inquire about a house. You can, if there's a house you like the look of it for sale, you can acquire to go for a viewing. We can acquire. We can find out what's going on. So you hope that this is a nod to saying that the talks have finally happened and we can move on and get into that position. But the problem is, these talks should have been set a month or two ago when we were having that chance to do that, but that hasn't happened, and we need to have clarity on this. Danny needs clarity on this because Danny has clarity on it. He knows what he's doing, he knows what he can work with, but the problem is no clarity then rolls that ugly question again of, in the summer, does someone come and meet Danny's release clause and we're back to square one looking for a manager when he's trying to build a team? You can't have this uncertainty all the time, and it's not helpful for the club, it's not helpful for the fans, it's not helpful for Danny. There needs to be clarity on what's going on for Danny's sake, so he knows whereabouts he is. He spoke about what targets he wants. He's already spoke about who they are not potentially looking at, but they've had discussions, him and Kevin. Now, DC backed him last January transfer window. He did. He backed him to a point in the summer as well. He brought in a lot of players and he spent a bit of cash on a striker, something we don't normally do. Now, my message to Chancery would be now, get Danny the little bit of tools he needs now, because you getting the right tools now, you never know what happens. But we have to shore up that defence. That defence is leaky as shit. And we can't keep having a leaky defence, because it's going to knacker us in the long run. Because if you have a tighter back line, you are able to go out there and do better. But we don't keep clean sheets. We are leaky at the back. And whenever we are playing on top, we don't go enough. And the thing that annoys me with this is I feel like the Preston game, I thought we played some good football. It was just individual mistakes at the back, again, that cost us. And those mistakes have got to be ironed out. We can't keep going into games where we're coming back from behind. We have to start setting the tempo. We have to start setting the lead. And that comes with the players. So those chances we have, they've got to be taken a lot quicker. Hopefully we have the same second half of the season we had last season, because we were good at that. But it's got to improve, and it's got to improve fast. So, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one, this, because it's two conflicting articles. One saying that we got with Enquiry about a player, and then there's another article saying that Danny and DC have not had transfer talk yet. And that's an issue. That's an issue that we need to have looked into, i.e. they need to sit down and talk. Maybe, like I said, they've already had that conversation. But who knows, it's going to be an interesting one. But remember to please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciate it. Liking helps the algorithm. Sharing gets in front of people's faces. And subscribing lets me know you like the channel. Hit that notification bell to let you know when videos go live. We've got a debrief tonight. I think it'll be a spicy one as per usual when we lose. I think there's going to be a lot of fans who are not going to be happy. They're going to read some of the articles today as well and get a bit annoyed by it and not by it. So, yeah, we'll see. But let's see what happens in January, because it's either going to be really busy or really quiet. One way or another, there's going to be stuff to talk about.